Most people think they have time. Time to shop tomorrow, time next week, time after payday. But when shelves start emptying, nobody gets a warning. One day everything looks normal. The next day people are posting photos of empty aisles. The strange part? The first foods to disappear are rarely the expensive ones. They're the foods people actually use. The foods that are practical, the foods that stretch, the foods that keep you going when everything else starts running out. And that's why thousands of people always end up saying the same thing: I should have bought that earlier. So let's get straight into the foods people wish they had before the shelves emptied, starting with one that disappears almost immediately: rice. Rice is boring. Nobody gets excited about rice. But when people start thinking long-term, rice becomes one of the first things they grab, because it lasts. It's cheap, it's filling, and it works with almost everything. A bag that seems huge during normal times suddenly looks small when everybody wants one. That's why rice shelves can change almost overnight. Next comes dried beans. Not canned beans. Dried beans. People ignore them for years, then suddenly remember they provide protein, fiber, calories, and incredible shelf life. A single bag can create multiple meals. That's why experienced shoppers don't wait until everyone else notices. Now let's talk about oats. This surprises many people, because oats don't feel important until breakfast options disappear. Oats are cheap, easy to store, easy to prepare, and incredibly filling. They also work in baking. That flexibility makes them far more valuable than most people realize. Then there's peanut butter. This is one of the smartest pantry foods available. High calories, protein, long shelf life, no cooking required. You can eat it straight from the jar if necessary, and that's exactly why people clear shelves of it so quickly. Most people don't appreciate peanut butter until they can't find it. Now consider pasta, another food people take for granted. It's everywhere, until suddenly it isn't. Pasta stores well, feeds multiple people, and turns basic ingredients into complete meals, which is exactly why carts start filling with it when uncertainty appears. But we're only getting started, because the next foods disappear even faster than many people expect. One of those foods is canned tuna. People don't buy tuna because it's exciting, they buy it because it works. Protein, long shelf life, no refrigeration needed, ready to eat. That's an extremely powerful combination. The same applies to canned chicken. Many people overlook it, until fresh meat becomes difficult to replace. Then canned chicken suddenly looks a lot more attractive. It lasts, it's versatile, and it feels familiar. That matters more than people think. Now let's talk about powdered milk. This is one of the quietest shelf clearers you'll ever see. Nobody talks about it much, yet when supply concerns appear, it disappears fast. Why? Because milk is part of daily life for many households, and powdered milk solves a problem that fresh milk can't. It stays usable far longer. The next food catches many people off guard. Salt. Not fancy salt. Regular salt. For thousands of years, salt has been one of the most important food storage items on Earth. People often forget that, until shelves start thinning. Salt improves food, preserves food, and stores indefinitely when kept dry. Then there's flour. This one creates a fascinating pattern. Most people don't bake regularly. Yet when uncertainty rises, flour suddenly becomes one of the most desired foods in stores, because flour creates possibilities. Bread, pancakes, biscuits, countless meals. People love options. Flour provides them. Now, let's move to canned soup. Not all soups. The thick ones. Beef stew, chunky soups, lentil soups. The kinds that actually feel like meals. People often ignore them when shelves are full, then wish they had them later, because convenience becomes incredibly valuable when resources feel limited. And there's one final category that nearly always vanishes. Coffee, not because it's essential for survival, because routines matter, comfort matters, normality matters. People underestimate that, until they're standing in front of an empty shelf wishing they'd grabbed one extra container. But here's what most people miss. The real lesson isn't about any single food, it's about timing. Because when shelves are full, nobody feels urgency. When shelves are empty, nothing feels urgent except the things you can no longer find, and that's when regret starts. But the final foods on this list might be the most important of all. The 11th food is cooking oil. This one surprises people every time, yet look at what oil actually does. Adds calories, improves flavor, helps prepare countless meals. A pantry without oil feels incomplete very quickly, and because it's used constantly, demand rises rapidly whenever people start stocking up. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the most overlooked food on this list. Honey. People think of honey as a sweetener, but it's much more than that. Long shelf life, easy storage, no refrigeration, natural sweetness that breaks food monotony. A small jar can last a surprisingly long time, and once people remember that, honey often disappears faster than expected. Now step back and look at the full picture. Rice, beans, oats, peanut butter pasta, tuna, chicken, powdered milk, salt, flour, cooking oil, honey. Notice something? None of them are luxury foods, none are trendy, none are expensive. They're practical. And that's exactly why people want them, because when uncertainty appears, people stop shopping emotionally. They start shopping logically. Suddenly, flashy packaging doesn't matter. What matters is usefulness, shelf life, flexibility, value. That's why the same foods tend to disappear repeatedly. They're the foods people trust, the foods that keep working when everything else becomes harder to find. And that's the reason so many people end up saying the same thing afterward. I saw it on the shelf. I almost bought it. I thought I had more time. The truth is, nobody knows exactly when shelves will stay full or when demand will suddenly surge. But history shows one thing clearly. The foods people miss most are usually the simplest ones, not because they're exciting, because they work. And when shelves finally start looking empty, those simple foods become the ones everyone wishes they bought earlier.